Rain slammed against the glass walls of a luxury ballroom in downtown Chicago. Crystal chandeliers shook as Maya Brooks, wearing a simple black coat over a waitress uniform, froze at the entrance. On stage, Billionaire CEO Ethan Calloway stared at the wedding design presentation. Then his eyes widened. "That voice?" he whispered. Maya dropped the tray when she realized the venue he was building was for her wedding tomorrow. Maya hurried into the storm outside, tears mixing with rain beneath the glowing city lights. Her curly dark hair clung to her cheeks while expensive cars splashed past her. Behind her, Ethan rushed out in a charcoal suit, breathing hard. He had spent months secretly falling in love with a late-night radio singer named Velvet. He never imagined she was real. Or engaged. Maya turned slowly as thunder cracked overhead. 6 months earlier, Ethan sat alone inside his penthouse office overlooking Manhattan. The richest man in New York stared blankly at financial charts while jazz music played softly. Then a warm female voice filled his headphones during a late-night radio show. "Some people hide pain behind success," she said gently. Ethan closed his eyes. For the first time in years, the cold billionaire smiled. But he still didn't know her name. Maya worked nights at a small Brooklyn cafe lit by golden hanging lamps. She wore oversized sweaters and faded jeans while quietly singing between customers. Her voice stopped conversations. One evening, Ethan entered wearing a baseball cap and dark coat, hiding his identity. He recognized her voice instantly. Maya smiled kindly while handing him coffee. "Long night?" she asked softly. Ethan felt his heart race for dangerous reasons. Snow fell outside the cafe windows while Maya and Ethan talked for hours after closing time. She confessed dreams of becoming a singer but laughed bitterly about unpaid bills. Ethan hid his billionaire status, pretending he was only an architect. Candlelight danced across Maya's glowing brown skin and bright eyes. Ethan watched her like a man starving for warmth. Then Maya suddenly received a phone call that changed her expression completely. Outside the cafe, Maya argued quietly with her fiancé Marcus beside a black SUV. Marcus wore an expensive designer coat and looked impatient. Ethan secretly watched from across the street. Marcus grabbed Maya's wrist tightly. "You need this marriage," he snapped. Maya pulled away, embarrassed. Ethan's jaw tightened. When Marcus drove off, Maya wiped away tears before forcing herself to smile again. Ethan realized she was hiding something painful. Days later, Ethan invited Maya to help choose music for a luxury hotel project. Inside the elegant rooftop restaurant, city lights shimmered behind them like stars. Maya wore a simple emerald dress that made every man stare. Ethan couldn't stop watching her laugh. She looked alive beside him. As a violinist played nearby, their hands touched accidentally. The silence between them suddenly felt more intimate than any kiss. Maya and Ethan walked through Central Park under glowing autumn leaves. Street musicians played soft saxophone melodies nearby. Maya admitted she felt strangely safe with him. Ethan almost revealed he was billionaire Ethan Calloway, owner of Calloway Developments. But fear stopped him. Maya leaned against him while cold wind brushed her curls. "You make me forget my problems," she whispered. Then Ethan saw Marcus watching them from a distance. The next morning, tabloids exploded with photos of Maya beside Ethan. Inside a luxury restaurant, Marcus slammed the newspaper onto the table. "You embarrassed me," he growled. Wealthy investors stared as Maya sat frozen in humiliation. Marcus accused her of chasing rich men. Maya's eyes filled with tears, but she stayed silent. Then Marcus leaned closer and whispered something cruel enough to completely destroy her smile. At Calloway headquarters, Ethan's mother Victoria entered his office wearing pearls and icy confidence. "That woman is using you," she said sharply. Ethan defended Maya, but Victoria had already investigated her background. A struggling singer engaged to another man? This is beneath our family. Ethan clenched his fists beside the giant windows. Victoria handed him wedding blueprints. "You're building Marcus Reed's wedding venue." Ethan's face went pale instantly. Maya sat alone in her tiny apartment surrounded by unpaid bills and wedding invitations. Marcus entered carrying diamonds and expensive flowers like apology gifts. "We need this marriage for both our futures," he said calmly. Maya stared at her reflection in the dark window. She looked trapped. Marcus kissed her forehead while she remained emotionless. Then her phone buzzed with a message from Ethan asking to meet urgently tonight. Ethan waited inside an empty theater lit only by stage lights. Maya arrived wearing a long beige coat, nervous and confused. Ethan finally confessed the truth. "I'm Ethan Calloway." Silence swallowed the room. Maya stepped back in shock. Every memory suddenly felt like a lie. "You hid everything from me," she whispered painfully. Ethan moved closer desperately, but Maya's eyes hardened. Then she removed the necklace he gave her. Rain poured outside as Maya walked away from the theater, crying uncontrollably. Ethan chased her through crowded streets, but she disappeared into traffic lights and umbrellas. Meanwhile, Marcus secretly watched from his car with a satisfied smile. He called someone quietly. "Make sure Calloway loses the contract tomorrow." Inside the storm, Ethan stood broken and helpless while Maya vanished into the darkness forever. Or so he believed. The next morning, Ethan's company stocks crashed after anonymous corruption allegations spread online. News reporters surrounded Calloway headquarters like vultures. Investors abandoned him within hours. Victoria blamed Maya immediately. Ethan ignored everyone and investigated alone. Deep inside company files, he discovered shocking evidence linking Marcus to the attacks. Marcus had planned everything, including the marriage. Ethan stared at the screen, realizing Maya was never the real target. Maya visited her sick mother at a small hospital in Queens. The fluorescent lights flickered while machines beeped softly beside the bed. Her mother held Maya's hand weakly. "Don't marry someone who kills your spirit," she whispered. Maya fought tears. Outside the room, Marcus argued with doctors about unpaid medical bills. Maya overheard him threatening staff. For the first time, fear replaced guilt in her eyes completely. Late that night, Ethan uncovered another secret. Maya was the anonymous owner of Velvet Voices, the online music channel that helped thousands through depression and loneliness. Her voice had saved lives worldwide. Ethan watched emotional videos of veterans, single mothers, and grieving teenagers thanking her. Tears filled his eyes. Maya had built hope while hiding her own suffering. Then Ethan discovered Marcus' plan to shut the channel down forever. At Marcus and Maya's wedding rehearsal, crystal candles illuminated the unfinished luxury ballroom Ethan designed himself. Maya stood in a white silk dress, looking heartbreakingly distant. Marcus greeted wealthy guests proudly. Suddenly, Ethan entered wearing a black suit, soaked from rain. Everyone fell silent. He looked directly at Maya. "You deserve the truth," he said loudly. Marcus's confident smile slowly disappeared as hidden secrets prepared to explode. Ethan played recorded phone calls through the ballroom speakers. Marcus's voice echoed clearly, admitting he only wanted Maya for her growing online brand and inheritance connections. Gasps spread through the room. Maya's face drained of color. Marcus lunged toward Ethan angrily, but security restrained him. Flashing camera lights filled the ballroom chaos. Maya stared at Marcus like she had never truly known him. Then Marcus shouted one final terrifying confession. "I never loved you." Marcus screamed as guests watched in horror. Maya's knees nearly collapsed beneath her wedding gown. Ethan caught her before she hit the floor. Tears streamed down her face while Marcus was dragged away by police investigating fraud charges. The ballroom suddenly felt cold and empty. Maya looked at Ethan through trembling lashes. "Why would you still help me after everything?" Ethan couldn't answer immediately. Days later, Maya disappeared from social media and radio completely. Fans online worried endlessly about Velvet's silence. Ethan searched everywhere across New York. One snowy evening, he finally found her singing quietly inside a nearly empty subway station. She wore a gray coat and knit hat, hidden among strangers. Her voice echoed beautifully through the tunnels. Ethan listened silently from the shadows until Maya suddenly noticed him standing there. Maya tried to walk away, but Ethan gently stopped her. Subway lights flickered above them while trains roared past. "I fell in love with your voice before I knew your face," he confessed softly. Maya's eyes filled with tears again. Ethan admitted he built the wedding venue while imagining a future with her without realizing it. Maya's heartbreak collided painfully with hope. Then Ethan reached slowly for her hand. Spring arrived in New York, painting the streets with soft sunlight and cherry blossoms. Maya slowly returned to music, performing under her real name for the first time. Ethan attended every show quietly from the back row. No bodyguards. No headlines. Just him. Maya noticed every time. One night after her performance, a young girl hugged Maya and said her songs saved her life. Ethan watched Maya break down crying backstage. Victoria invited Maya to dinner inside the Calloway mansion. The enormous dining room glowed with candlelight and silver chandeliers. Maya wore a simple navy dress while wealthy guests whispered around her. Victoria finally apologized sincerely. "I judged your struggle because I feared losing my son." Maya remained quiet. Then Victoria revealed Ethan had nearly destroyed his empire protecting Maya during the scandal. Maya's expression changed with sudden shock. Ethan's company faced bankruptcy after months of attacks and lawsuits. Investors abandoned him publicly. News channels called him reckless and emotional. Inside his dark office, Ethan removed his expensive watch and stared at the empty skyline. Then Maya entered unexpectedly wearing a cream trench coat. Without speaking, she placed legal papers on his desk. Ethan looked confused until he realized Maya had invested her entire music fortune into saving his company. "You believed in me when I had nothing," Maya whispered softly. Ethan stared at her in disbelief. City lights reflected in both their tearful eyes. For the first time, the powerful billionaire looked emotionally vulnerable. He stepped closer slowly. "Why would you risk everything for me?" Maya smiled sadly. "Because loving you stopped feeling dangerous a long time ago." Then Ethan finally kissed her beneath the glowing office lights. Months later, Ethan reopened the luxury ballroom after redesigning it completely. Gone were the cold marble walls and gold decorations Marcus requested. Now warm candles, soft flowers, and live jazz filled the space with life. Maya entered wearing an elegant champagne-colored gown, speechless. Ethan walked beside her proudly. "This place was never meant for the wrong love," he whispered. Maya suddenly noticed photographers gathering outside the doors. Reporters flooded the entrance as Ethan and Maya stepped onto the red carpet together publicly for the first time. Flashing cameras illuminated Maya's radiant smile and Ethan's protective hand around her waist. Social media exploded instantly. Fans celebrated Velvet finally finding happiness. But one reporter shouted a dangerous question. "Marcus Reed escaped custody this morning. Are you afraid?" Maya's smile faded immediately while Ethan's eyes sharpened protectively. That night, Maya received a single white rose outside her apartment with no note attached. Fear returned instantly. Ethan increased security around her, refusing to leave her alone. During a thunderstorm, the apartment lights suddenly went out. Maya froze in darkness while footsteps echoed in the hallway. Ethan grabbed a flashlight and moved carefully forward. Then police sirens exploded outside the building at the exact same moment. Police arrested Marcus hiding inside the basement garage before he reached Maya's apartment. From the balcony above, Maya watched silently while rain soaked the flashing patrol cars below. Marcus looked up one last time before disappearing into the police vehicle forever. Ethan wrapped his coat around Maya's shoulders protectively. She leaned against him, exhausted but finally free. Then Ethan reached into his pocket slowly with trembling hands. 1 year later, the same ballroom glowed under golden lights and soft jazz music. But tonight felt completely different. Maya stood beside Ethan in a breathtaking ivory gown while guests wiped away tears happily. Outside, snowflakes drifted gently across the Chicago skyline. Ethan held her hands tightly. "Your voice saved me before your love did," he whispered. Maya smiled through tears as the ballroom doors slowly opened behind them.